Hey guys, and welcome back to another Lost Bits video right here on TetraBitGaming, the series where we explore noteworthy, scrapped, unused, and unseen content in video games. In this Lost Bits video, we will be exploring one of my favorite Kirby games, the one featuring the pink puffball harnessing the infamous combinable power-ups, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Quick side story, I still remember my parents renting this game for me from a local video rental store just after I got my tonsils and adenoids removed, when I was really young. It's really hard to believe how long ago it's been. But since then, I've had a lot of really good memories with this game. But anyways, as always, really quickly, if at any point you guys do enjoy this video and would like to support the channel and see more Lost Bits in the future, don't forget to slap a big fat thumbs up or comment down below. It seriously helps me out a lot. And with that said, let's begin exploring Kirby 64. Alright, first up, we'll do something I haven't yet done in Lost Bits, and that's to take a look at some unused audio that was left out from the final release of the game and share it with you guys. Firstly, there is a remix of the Animal Friends theme as heard in Kirby's Dream Land 3. Next, there's a cut version of Kirby's classic Victory Dance theme that actually doesn't appear in the game. And also an unused shorter version of the same song. The last unused audio clip is pretty weird. Here, have a listen. Apparently this is a sped up reading of the first two lines of a traditional Japanese poem called Iroha. Iroha is basically somewhat of a Japanese equivalent to the English ABC song, as in its entirety it contains each character of the Japanese syllabary no more than once. Alright, time to go full weeb here. So the first two lines from the poem go as follows. I hope I get this right. Iro wa ni oedo, chiri nuru o. For those of you interested, it roughly translates to, even the blossoming flowers will eventually scatter. That's actually quite a deep start to a poem. It's basically saying even the nicest things in life will eventually die. I could see why this wasn't included in the final game, about a cute pink puffball, but what its original intended use was, your guess is as good as mine. Now let's have a look at an unused graphic that can be found in the game's files. This early art appears to show many of the characters we know, early designs of some of the new characters, as well as Kirby's animal friends, which only made a brief appearance in the final game. The numbers under Kirby 64 are likely the date when this art was finished, on October 30th, 1998, about a year and a half before the game's final Japanese release date. Yeah, I know for many of us that's a weird order to write the date, as we in North America typically use month, day, year. Some people have also linked this artwork to a pre-release screenshot of the game, which features similar art in the character profile portraits. This has also led some to speculate that it is possible that Kirby's animal friends were initially meant to play a bigger role in the game instead of just appearing as Kirby's stone transformation. It's that special time of Lost Bits again, unused test room time. Surprisingly enough, Kirby 64 has a total of 7 unused test rooms for us to explore. First up is a map internally named Abe 100. This map is a straight path with all the different kinds of terrain seen in the game. Each different material is also labeled in Japanese. The terrains include ice, snow, sand, wood, cloud, grass, iron, and slippery. It is obvious that this map was used to test Kirby's movement and traction on various terrains. Next is Abe 200, and this is probably the most basic test room that I have ever seen. It's just a closed off room with Adelaine, who draws and gives you a 1-up. Yep, that's it. Wait a second, scratch that. Actually, the next room, Enna Test 1, is the most basic room that I have ever seen. I don't know why this test room was left over, but it's seriously just nothing, and Kirby just falls forever. However, as the name of the map implies, maybe at some point in the game's development, the room had a much different role in that of testing enemies, maybe? The next room, Enna Test 2, although more than just nothing, this room doesn't offer much more. It is just a large room with a weirdly colored grid-like background. This room is empty, but again, as the name implies, maybe at some point it was used to test enemies. Break Test 1, as you can see, is for some strange reason overlaid with some weird cloud effect, and it's fairly obstructive. Maybe this was some sort of test for a background effect or for something for the heads-up display, but honestly I have no idea. At least this empty map has some obstacles to jump on. Yes, finally a test room with things. Item 01 is kind of similar to the map with the different terrains, but this time it's a map that features various items in the game instead. Various recovery foods, stars, and invincibility candies all make an appearance in this map a few times. There's also a body of water and some platforms later in the map, but oddly enough, neither of them have any collision detection with Kirby. Although still pretty bare bones, this test map, at least compared to the others, appears to be the closest to the final version of the game. And lastly, I don't know if this counts as a test map really, but we can also access the How to Play demo screen, which normally gives players a first-time overview on how to play the game, which is normally not playable. It appears just as it does in the demonstration, but this time we can have full control. Alright, now let's try moving the camera around and see if we can see some cool unseen Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I have some of the worst experiences with these programs. Apparently if I try to pull the camera too far back, some weird funky stuff starts happening. But anyway, although there isn't all too much that I was able to find that isn't too out of the ordinary, it was still pretty cool to have a closer look at some of the objects or to see them at a different angle. Although Kirby walks on a pretty linear path throughout the game, it is pretty cool to see that basically everything in the background is fully modeled. The first interesting thing that I was able to look at was this big castle. Unsurprisingly enough, if we take a closer look at the castle, we can see that much of it is untextured. Even at the section that you enter the castle, we can see that the developers only textured as much as they needed to, so good job developers. When leaving the castle later in the level, I wanted to check if the path from the start of the level was still there, but it looks like it wasn't. Just an aside really quick, it's really interesting to play this game from some different angles. I mean, who doesn't want to see a really big close-up of Wispy Woods? Next up, I wanted to take a look at this moving screen area in which sand is constantly rising. At the top of the room, we can see that Waddle Dee's model appears before he actually comes on screen, and he actually just hangs out for a few seconds before popping in to rescue Kirby. He then apparently just goes right back to hanging upside down off screen and just chills there. Also, by moving the camera back, we can see that the sand wasn't actually rising, and that the effect was an illusion created by the developers by simply overlaying a small sandy square layer, which isn't fully seeable by the player. Doesn't look so menacing from this angle, does it? When exiting this room, I noticed these mirage-looking pyramids in the stage's background, so I decided to take a closer look. It appeared as if they got clearer as I got closer, but they were still very translucent. And the last cool thing I want to talk about in this video is this weird polygonal pyramid UFO thing that emerges from the sand. As you can see, it appears that the pyramid is still completely textured underground before it actually emerges. And we can also move in to have a closer look at the inside of the UFO before we actually jump in. There are probably more things that I haven't yet taken a look at, so if you know of any and would like me to explore them, let me know and I might revisit this game in the future. But that's all the noteworthy unseen and cut content that I was able to find for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did enjoy this video and want to see more Lost Bits, be sure to leave a like and check out more of the series over at my channel or by clicking on the card right here. And if you would like to stay even more up to date with me and my channel, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Links to all those will be in the description below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today and for all of your amazing support, and I will see you in a bit.